As building automation systems continue to advance, we are seeing the convergence of operation technologies and information technologies. While this integration of OT and IT is creating new, more efficient, and modern ways to control your BAS, it brings along new challenges, particularly regarding cybersecurity. In this video, we are going to look at 7 ways to increase cybersecurity for your building automation system. Let's start with number 1, change default passwords. Now, while this may seem obvious to some, it can often be overlooked or even brushed by because it is fast and convenient to do so. In truth, this is the number 1 way to stop someone from getting into a system or piece of equipment. Just by taking the time to change something from admin settings can save a lot of headaches. Just remember, the admin password isn't fooling anyone. Number 2, don't share passwords or leave them exposed. Again, we know, passwords. But this simple trick will help to stop widespread issues. If you are constantly sharing passwords openly, or leaving them on sticky notes, or reusing a shared password, multiple networks could be compromised at the click of a button. Number 3, keep your computer up to date. You are only as secure as the most out-of-date software. Keeping computers up to date and using the latest versions of your building automation software help by introducing critical patches to keep your network secure against the latest cyber attacks. You can use all the practices that we mention here, but if you don't keep your software up to date, it could be an open invitation to intruders. However, many BAS software and services are written for specific versions of the operating system or components they use. So you will need to understand your BAS before allowing automatic updating. Number 4, create a separate BAS network. While we don't recommend this as a first option, there may be concerns with your IT department allowing you to use the IT networks at all. You can create another separate one. This, of course, would mean that you'd need to run a whole separate system of cables and routers. But if it's at the time of install, or it is your only option, it could be a feasible request. Just remember, it needs to be managed and secured all the same. Number 5, whitelisting and blacklisting IP addresses, ports, and URLs. Whitelisting is the process of allowing IP addresses, ports, and specific URLs access to your network. If someone is asking to enter your network from a whitelisted IP, they will be granted access. The exact opposite is true for blacklisting. You can specifically assign IP addresses, ports, and URLs that you know should never be talking to your network to never be allowed in. Some BAS products allow you to configure such lists. For ones that do not, consider setting up the whitelists at one or more of the firewalls between the BAS and the outside world. Number 6, only allow outbound traffic and ignore inbound traffic. This tip is completely dependent upon the BAS software or services at the site. If it is designed to be outbound only, then it initiates all communications with the outside world, and the firewall rules can be put in place that block unsolicited inbound messages. It's almost like having an empty whitelist. IP routers and gateways are typically configured to allow inbound messages only when a computer on the inside first sends out a message to an outside server, which is why the BAS can still communicate with the outside world even with inbound messages being blocked. However, some IT departments also make outbound rules, meaning that their firewalls may block your BAS from sending out messages. In this case, you must have IT configure their firewalls to allow outbound messages to the services your BAS uses. Number 7, encrypting information. Imagine sending your regular old snail mail. You write a letter with all your passwords on it and hand it to the postman. No envelope. He and everyone who touches it can read your letter. You probably wouldn't want strangers to see your sensitive data, right? The same is possible if you don't encrypt your connections and data. For digital information, there are 2 basic ways of encrypting, either on the messages carrying your data or on the data itself. Encrypting the messages is done by VPNs and encryption protocols such as TLS. This is much like adding another envelope on your messages, one where no one can see your data. This kind of encryption is supported by the firewalls and routers in the system. Encryption on your data can be done so that the stored data sitting at rest in your databases is not human or machine readable unless one has the proper codes to decrypt the data. This type of encryption is usually done by the BAS or database services. It's important to note that the number one thing you can do to keep your system secure is to do what you're doing right now. By being aware and educating yourself and coworkers, you can create a cyber culture that is not only useful for building automation networking, but also your personal and professional digital life. For more information on building automation systems and other related industry topics, check out the other videos in our 101 series, or to learn more about any of the solutions from the building geniuses at KMC, visit us on the web at kmccontrols.com.